What we have here is a GE. Now this lady gave me this GE washer, and it is pristine looking. She told me it wasn't more than 1.5 years old, and it was making a noise. So anyway, what I did in a preliminary test, and I'm going to show you how to do that, there is a service sheet that is located underneath the machine right here. It's taped right here. So if you need to do this test, you pull this out of a GE right there. And to do this test, I've already done it. I know what's wrong with it, but I'm going to show you how to do this test. If you turn it to these where you have these patterns right here, these are light patterns that you'll right up here that you will need to match once you get it in service diagnostic mode. And the way to get it in service diagnostic mode is to hold the start button down and turn it 180 degrees or 7 clicks, release it, and then these lights will start flashing. And you can go through all of these tests by selecting which light is on. So I know I'm not going to go through all these tests. I'm just going to go through the one that I did to show you what's wrong with this machine, and it's going to be the spin test. So the spin test is this light out, this light on, this light on, this light on, and the rest of them out. So you just turn it clockwise until I get the soak, wash, and rinse light to come on. Just like that. Spin. Once you press spin, if you have it hooked up to water, you'll hear it'll go through a child safety algorithm, and it'll shoot 2 sprays of water, and then it locks the lid, and the lid must be closed. It just locked it, and now it's starting to spin, and immediately you can hear the bearings. So in this particular washer, when the bearings are out, there's no fixing them, and the reason is because they're inside a gear case that is tack welded together. If you can hear that, it starts a slow spin, and you can hear it rumbling. And now it spins up to speed, you can really hear it. So immediately I know that the gear case is shot in this thing. But this is such a good machine, I don't want to scrap it. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt to change the gear case. And to get out of this test, just hold this button down, and it will stop. So I went and I figured a machine looking that well that I can get the money back that I spent on the gear case plus a little extra. So I went ahead and ordered a new gear case for it, which happens to be in this box right here. So what we're going to do is once it stops spinning, we're going to unplug it, and we're going to pull that gear case. And to do so, we have to pull the agitator, we have to pull the tub, and we have to pull the gear case, of course. Well, we have to pull the spin basket, not the tub. There you go. So now what we need to do is pull this fabric softener cup, and there's a bolt, 7/16 inch bolt, way at the bottom, and we need to pull the agitator. So to do that, I need to get a couple of extensions to reach that far down. A 7/16 socket. There we go. And if we're lucky, we'll be able to pull this agitator. Now I was thinking the other day, I have an agitator extractor tool that I basically invented that I used to pull stuck at whirlpool agitators and wash plates. But if I have an agitator with a bolt way at the bottom of it, I don't have to have that tool that long. So I may have to build me one. So anyhow, you have this nut right here. It's called a GE nut, and it's going to have left-hand threads. That means righty-loosey. Righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. So let's see if this fits. It does not fit. This is a GE wrench, but this is for the old one. So we're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way and use one of these. And we want to do it this direction. See if we can loosen this thing. So you just got to keep after it. There we go. There is a wrench that you can use for this. But I don't have one of the smaller GE wrenches. I should have. I'm going to break down and buy one. If you look at this, it says loosen the direction that way. So now we got the tub loose and we can pull in. But first we have to take the top off. So how do we take the top off this thing? First, take these two things here off, and let's unplug it for safety. So sometimes these things can be a pain, but I found if you can't get it to budge, you can take a chisel and whack it just on the edge of the threads and usually break that, and you can buy another. You can buy you a nut. But they can be real challenging because those things are made from like a sacrificial alloy that they will corrode before your tub wheel. So we can take these two screws here out, and the way to do that is to lay this down. And I think what we'll just do is we'll just take this entire top off and leave the wiring harness connected to the case. Here's a tip: if you ever find your GE washer and clothes just pile up on one side, change this capacitor right here. Alright, let's see. Need to unsnap this thing. There we go. So start unplugging. Everything that can stay with the console stays with the console. There we go. I think that can stay. This needs to go. Discharge that if it's got any juice on it. I don't want to shock myself. And actually, I think everything stays with that ground wire there. Now, make it take that loose, and everything else goes. There we go. Lay that over there. Now we can take our tub out. And the way we got to do that is take the splash guard off. And GE splash guards have different clips. They're kind of easier to take off than others. But you always want to remember this thing right here goes up to the left corner. Alright, lay that aside. Now we should be able to pull our tub out, and it comes right out. That water you hear is in this balance ring right here. Now we can get underneath it. We want that. And let's attack this from the underside. And you can see the oil has failed on that. The oil will be dripping out. Alright. Keep that screw there. One right here. We'll clean all that up. But you can see this machine looks almost brand new underneath it. That's a nice machine. And you can buy that gear case for a little over $100. So you have a little meat on the bone. What we will have to change, we got oil on this, on our belt. We'll probably change the belt. And we want to pull the motor and all this stuff here off. And I want to disconnect the wiring harnesses, and they have these safety clips on them that prevent you from unplugging them. That one. There we go. You will have to defeat these things. You need to pull it right out of there. And I think that's like a 13 or a 14. I think it's 13. Yep, 13. These guard bolts are 10s. That's a motor bolt is 13 metric. What you'll have to unplug here is the motor speed sensor, and it's got a little red keeper thingy. To unplug it, and we've got to defeat that anyway, so just pull that right off of there. There we go. We have a motor plug. We need to defeat that one. Push and separate, and we need to defeat that one. All right. I don't know if we're going to need that clip or not. We might. I'm going to go ahead and take it off. I don't know if that new one has one on it or not. We'll just take this one off. That, and we can, well, first let's take this off of here. Nope, that's going to be a 14. No, what is that? We have, it's a 14, must be a 15. Yeah, 15. Uh-oh. Well, I need to defeat that. Pretty easy. We'll have to clean that wheel up. It's got oil all over it. That's what compromises the belts on these things. Alright. Now, the splutch comes off with a 10. Or the mode shifter, I don't know what they call this on General Electric. But you're going to have this piece and this spring shifter. Too big enough. There we go. And that little red keeper thing fell out. Alright. And we need to get another zip tie clamp that has to come off without damaging the wires. Now, I think everything else is a 10. And they're going to have like 8. 4 on the bottom, 4 on the top. And for this, let's use our, we don't need an impact, but I can use our impact wrench. Make everything go a little faster. And the folks that always chide me for using hand tools will be pleased. I hate this thing. Come on now. There it goes. Here we go. 1. 2. We won't use this to put them back on. While we're under here, I want to show people. See if these linear, these suspension rods have a cup piston type thing, goes into a cylinder and uses air pressure for linear dampening, unlike the whirlpool style. Alright, this should come out. You may have to knock it out with a hammer. There we go. And I can hammer on that because I'm not going to use it again. It is junk. There we go. I might need that. Not sure. Okay, yeah, see, bearings are going in this thing. You hear it at slow speed, but they're gone. And they just make weight for the junk people. Now let's get our new piece. See what comes in this box. Ah, look at that. It comes with a new nut, all the pieces we're going to need. How do you like that? It's pretty. Oh yeah. Alright, so what we need to do is put a little lubricant on. What's my lube? Glue. Lubricant. I want to put a little bit of lubricant on this seal. It helps it slide in there, and also helps with the sealing. And it's a silicone lubricant that will not corrupt the plastic at the bottom of that tub. There we go. Perfect. Now let's see if we can punch this rascal on there. Let's get some bolts started. There's one. And there's two. There's three. There's four. Now, there it went. Oop. Let's run some bolts down. Okay. Perfect. And we're just starting really. And we don't want to zap the things tight. Alright, everything is down but not snug yet. There we go. Now we can take this off and put our ratchet back on. And now tighten everything snugly without stripping the plastic. Now let's reassemble. What we're going to need is this silver washer. I think it's the same one, may not be. It is. The silver washer goes here. Now this goes here, and this, the yoke goes in like that, and these parts go there, like that. Now we want the motors. So to go over that once more, this is our mode shifter. Alright, so we put the silver washer on right here, and the spring rides on top of it, and then on the bottom of the yoke are the splutch. And let's clean that up a bit. It's got that dirty oil on it, and I'm pulling it off the shaft, really. There we go. That came up out of the gearbox. Alright, so anyway, so you have the silver washer, the spring, the splutch engager gizmo, and then they go on these splines. Right this in the way. They go on these splines like that, and this yoke goes in between here, and it fits. There's 2 pins and 2 bolts. And I will fix everything when I get this started. I got that misaligned. Come on now. There. And you can see as I tighten that down, it pulls this into position. And these have blue Loctite on them, and I don't replace it. It seems to be alright. Just tighten that down. Now this will move up and down to engage with this black wheel right here. And these things, but you don't want oil on the outside of this wheel here, because your belt runs on that and it will slip. You actually don't want oil on any of these parts right here. the oil that is on here came out of that transmission, and it has a way of making that belt spongy and will slip. So we will replace the belt. Reminds me I need to order some of those. And we have a nut that goes right there. And for some reason, there we go. Let's see if we have a new nut. We do have a new nut. Let's try that. I'm not sure where that nut goes. Must be for different models. Let's put the new nut on there. Doesn't seem to be fitting right. Fitting right. Now this is a new lock nut that's going on there, and it is a 13, I believe. 15. Now you don't have to just get down on this. You can tighten it snugly. Once that's done, you can reattach all these wires. Alright, once we get this back in place, we need, this is number 10. Where'd I do my wrench? There it is. Swap our sockets out. And let's reposition that. One thing I wish they had in these, had shipped in that is the those wire ties with the stays on them that you push into here. So now this is going to be our ground wire up here, and this is going to go right back here, and we can plug our water pump back in, and we'll figure out a way to tie that off later. Now we can fix our motor. Now, the same thing with the motor. It's gonna have all that oil up in the grooves of this pulley here, and you want to make sure you get that as dry as possible, clean as possible, because the belt will surely slip. There we go. Alright. So, let's fit our motor back in there. And we got two brand new motor bolts. And the motor bolts are 13s. pretty tight. Alright, now we need to replug our motor speed sensor. And the thing about this motor speed sensor is it's right in the way of a belt. So we do need to tie it back some kind of way. So we'll get a zip tie and tie it around through here. And this will be out of the way. And while we're getting our zip tie, let's get a belt. GE belts. There's a GE belt. We want to put a brand new belt on there. We don't want this coming back to us. So let's see if we can fit this through here. Started. This way it keeps that motor speed sensor wire pretty much out of the way. We don't have to push up against the motor though. Yeah, looks good. So let's just tidy that up. And we can put our new belt on. The way I do it is I put a screwdriver right there as I got it along. Because it goes on there fairly tight. And then you can push, you can see where it's not on right there, you push right here and just bring it around and it goes into position. And I like to put it on the back of that wheel as far as it'll go. There it goes. And maybe that's too much. One notch too much. Let's run it back that way. Yeah, just like that. And this keeps it away from that plastic and it keeps it away from this. So it's kind of running right in the middle and runs right in the middle there. Alright, so what can we do about this? We don't have a... It really doesn't fall down because you have this right here that is kind of holding it up away from the stuff. So let's clean the oil off this. So that the next guy won't think the transmission's leaking. But it's common for these to leak this oil. And compromise the belt. Once you clean it up, put another belt on it, and it usually doesn't come back to you after you do that. And the problem is that the symptom is it won't spin the clothes out right. And what's happening is the belt is slipping. Once the belt slips, the motor overspeeds and stops. So let's go ahead and put these on. have a ground wire to put on that too. You should change the socket first. Alright. Just like that. So now we've got everything under here connected like we want it. Everything's cleaned up, and we want to put the tub back in. So the tub is going to have two washers. It's going to have this one that we fit right here, like so, and then our tub goes in. Like we pulled it out. Let me get that out of there for her. And now we've got this washer and this new nut. Now this washer is beveled, and there's a green dot on it, and the green dot goes up. Now we can put our new nut, and remember, lefty tighty, righty loosey on this nut. Like that. And since I don't have one of those big sockets, I started to buy one of those, and they want like $60 for one of those deep sockets. I think it's 1 15/16. I am not going to spend that much for a socket. What we want to do is tighten that down. Pretty good. Alright. You don't want to break it though, so I'm pretty sure that's maybe a little bit more. That's good. So now we can put our agitator back in. And remember, we need some long extensions. Put this 7/16 inch bolt back in. Now before I close this up, I'm going to spray some stuff down in here and take a brush and brush all this out. That's kind of nasty. So let's get some of this cleaning solution down in there. Let that soak a little. Paper, let's use this. There we go. I'm going to clean all that out too. We put soap powder in there. Now we can put our splash guard back on. And remember, this goes in the front left corner. Get everything lined up on it. Perfect. Let me just buzz. Now we can put our top back on. What I watched here, what I saw here a while ago, these have come loose and need to go back down in that slot. Press them, drop it like that. Now we're going to set this back down. And let's hook our board back up. One goes there. I think this one goes here. And this one goes here. This goes to our capacitor. Shoop. Shoop. And don't forget your pressure hose. Goes there. And are we missing any here? We are. This one goes all the way over to the edge over here. Alright. Everything is accounted for except for the diagnostic thing that never works like it's supposed to. Well, I'll tell you what, let's put the cabinet screws back on. Right there. Make sure that it's clipped down. And it is. So tighten our cabinet screws down. And so I'm going to have to get a little bit more premium for this than I usually sell these for, because I have the cost of that box. However, it didn't cost all that much, maybe a little over $100. If I sold it for what I usually get, I'd still make money, but not as much if you account for my labor. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably run it up maybe $60 or $80 more, whatever the cost of that thing was. So there we go. my mount. Oh, you didn't make it, did you? There it is. Right there. Push forward. And you know what I didn't do is put the crown screw back on, and I need to do that. Right there it is. It's right there. Wally, you hot, bud? Here it is, late October, and afternoon temperatures are probably in the 90s. I haven't turned the big fan on today, but it's getting that way. Now there it is. Now we can put our cover back on. Like that. Here's the mailman. Bringing parts. Now we can do one of two things. We can test the spin.
Please charge it in time.
Or we can do a test wash in it. And let's do a test wash while I charge the camera up. So we'll get it over there and get it started. Okay, so we got a test load in this rascal, and it's on the spin cycle, and you don't hear the bearings. It's working fine. There goes the pump. Lid unlocked. Let's check out our load. Yep, it is all spun just about dry. Let's see. Anyway, boy, it spun out good. No bearing noises. We've got us a good machine that we can sell. Anyway, we're going to call this one fixed. Fixed another one. Give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Chip is out.